Hey guys, Orlando here with the Munoz Little Farm Journey. Welcome back. So I'm in my garage right now, and it's about 30 degrees outside, and I really just wanted to share with you guys because I'm really cold for some reason. And you may think, okay, 30 degrees, you're from Wisconsin, that's nothing, you know, that's a little bit of cold. That's working weather actually for us.
So cold that I'm shivering.
So why am I so cold? So I don't know. I shared with you guys on the last video. I went to Florida the last 2 weeks. I was down in Florida, and I've been down there. It was really like 77 degrees up to like 80 or 90 every day, and it was beautiful. I went down there and I worked outside pretty much all day, and then just coming down here, I think it was just the temperature change. It's just, I'm really cold, and I really can't explain it because Kelly even makes fun of me right now because I'm the one person that I rarely get cold, even in Wisconsin. Like, I'm the last one to get cold, and I've been really cold this last couple of days. I mean, I've been telling Kelly to come snuggle with me and warm me up because I'm so cold. But yeah, I mean, I think part of that is because, when the reason I went down there, I went down with my mom. She asked me to come down to Florida with her. She's got a couple of properties down there that she rents, and there was some maintenance that needed to be done. So, some of the things I did when I went down there, I worked on a fence. I also worked on a door for that fence, to go in and out of the patio. I even ended up cutting down or not cutting down, but I ended up trimming back a mango tree. We also did some running around, we did do some fun things here and there. We went to the beach one of the days, and we saw a wedding in the beach. That was kind of neat. Definitely got to eat a lot of good food made by my mom, and then we went to a couple Colombian restaurants that made just absolutely great food. I even ended up putting up some security cameras for her. So all in all, we did a lot of running around. We did a lot of errands that she needed to get done. A lot of the work that I did out there was outside, and most of it I was in the sun, and it was beautiful working out there. But I think the downside to that was that I mean, I guess usually like when I work here in the summer, the winter comes gradually, and you get that time to adjust to the cold, and then to me it's just you barely even notice it. But that drastic change, I mean, I believe it was 78 degrees when we left, and when we landed here, it was 45 degrees. And even that felt really cold for me. So being out here at 30 degrees today, it's been tough. In the last couple of days, I haven't gotten much work done around the farm because I don't want to leave the house. It's hard to explain. It's hard to really get used to the cold. So we've been doing like little things like going to the market with Kelly and getting groceries. We went to church. But one neat thing that I did get to observe is that weather is changing here in Wisconsin too. And it's starting, summer, you can tell summer's starting to come around. Things are starting to melt and stuff. So we did have a lot of snow around here in the farm. And it was actually a neat thing because I was able to experience something, like you guys know, we're planning on getting goats. And one of the first things I'm going to do once the weather gets better is actually I'm going to build up an area that I can fence in so I can keep the goats in there, keep them safe and contained. But I definitely, one of the challenges that I saw, and it happened when I came back, was that, when all the snow started melting, there was a lot of flooding going around, not flooding like in a bad way, but it was very evident that the ground's still wet and the surface temperatures warm enough that all that snow starting to melt. And you know, we had a couple of rains here and there, but that water had nowhere to go because the ground was being frozen. Since then, that the ground has been, you know, thawing out and the puddles have been going down and stuff. So I don't foresee that being like a year-round problem for me, but definitely like this time of the year, it's going to be a problem, especially where I put my goats and my chickens. You know, chickens will be easy because we can move them around, but the goats, you know, if I got a structure like the fencing that I put is more permanent, you know, given the chance, you know, what if most of the area is flooded because of the snow? What am I going to do with these goats at that point? So, you know, that was one thing that I kind of was in the back of my mind, and just kind of wanted to tell you guys that, you know, I did observe that, and it's going to change my plans a little bit. So let me go check. I'm going to show you guys where that area was, and then what I plan on doing. Okay. Oh boy, walking out here, the wind just hit me coming down. It is kind of chilly, and you'll be amazed because it's a beautiful day. The sun is out, you know, you got the sun shining. As you can see, most of the land, most of the snow is already melted. Now you guys can see that. I'm thinking that front area right there, that's where I'm gonna put, we plan on planting the trees. This is the area that I really want to show you guys because as you can see, this is the shed right here, and then you got my other barn in the back. All right, so what I was originally thinking is that I was going to enclose this big area right here. All this, I was going to enclose it for the goats. All right, and what I was able to observe was that when, you know, when the snow was thawing out, you can see a little bit of it right there. Still, there's a little puddle that's kind of, it's still frozen. But now imagine that thing all over this, and this thing was really flooded with just water. So it kind of made me realize that, you know, either two things I can do. I can either just enclose a bigger area, and the middle will be, you know, it might be flooded for a couple of days during the thawing out of the winter, or I'm just gonna move it all mostly to that side. I can still enclose this, but I want them to have an area that I know is not flooding for sure. During those thawing out, during the time that's thawing out, you know, that they're not gonna be stepping in the cold water and stuff. I know one of the things goats don't like, they don't like to get wet. That's what I've been reading and heard. So it's all reading, no experience. I haven't had any. So, but yeah, so that's kind of like what I plan on doing. Another thing that I noticed that I kind of wanted to do. Okay, the wind should be minimal over here. I'm right next to the barn, if you guys can see. So this is the barn. This is the area where I've been doing most of the work for the chicken coop. And now this area right here, it's just picture there's a, you know, a divider right there on top of the barn, and then a dividing wall right here. And this area right here is where it's kind of heated. And right now I'm just kind of keeping some equipment in there, like the tractor and a baler that I bought that doesn't work. So, but yeah, I haven't really been using that area much. And so one thing that I had done is I set up kind of like a shop right here in the shed. I actually have one of my trucks in there, one of the Suburbans, and I have most of my tools and my ATVs, my lawnmowers. I got them all in the shed right now. But you know, doing a little bit of thinking, it kind of, I was reflecting on that experience. You know, I don't know this land. Like, I can see the land, but I haven't seen it go through the seasons, you know, and go through what this land does, you know, when it becomes alive and thriving, and then when it does thawing out. You know, we moved here in September, so that was the tail end of summer, and when it started getting pretty cold. So how did that affect my planning? So one of the things I wanted to do, I was gonna right away like build like a shelter for my goats out there. And you know, going through that experience of the puddle kind of made me rethink that, and I was like, you know, let me use the things that I have right now, because I don't want to spend the effort doing something that may or may not fail until I can see all the season and how the weather is going to affect the structure. You know, I think like once I be able to see that first year, I can plan better where I want to put the shelter and how to build it, right? So what I'm going to do, instead of just building the structure out there, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to use the shed to house my goats for the first year at least, you know. And who knows, it might just be that I might end up liking it. I might just keep them there permanent, because I was heard too, like whatever shelter you build, you want to build it big enough, and then you want to think about the growth of your herd. So we started with 4, and I think, you know, and then a year later we're gonna get the 2 bucks, and then we're gonna start breeding them. So I don't see much growth happening in the first year, but then the years after that, it might grow into a bigger herd, and we might need more room. So that's why I was thinking the shed might actually be a good place to start to keep them, and then we'll go from there. You know, so what I have to do to get ready for that, it's and then I think that's why what I'm going to do in the next couple of videos is kind of show you my progress. But let me show you guys inside the shed what it looks like. There's one thing I always wanted to do. Oh, I'm going in the shed just like that. And bang, I'm in the shed. Magic, guys. I'm just kidding. There's just some good editing. So, all right. So if you guys can see inside the shed, this is a pretty big area. I mean, to give you a kind of like a context or something to relate to. So this right here is like, it's a Suburban, right? And that's on this side of the shed. I could probably fit maybe 1, 2, 3, about four Suburbans length this way, you know. And then the width of this is probably like 25 feet. So, and it's pretty good. It's got a good structure to it. There's no drafts. There is a draft on that door back there, which I think I'm gonna probably eliminate that, either replace it or figure something out to be able to fix that draft. So, but this is kind of like what I was gonna show you guys. You know, I had this kind of set up like a little shop here that I can work in cars and stuff. But then that's another thing that I realized is that there is no heat here. And if we look at the barn's got that heater area. So what I was thinking, and I guess I probably should have thought this about like to begin with, is that I'm gonna put my shop in the barn, you know, where the heater area is. And then I'm gonna store most of my equipment there, like, you know, my tools, and then my lawnmowers and the tractor. And if I need room, you know, if I need to work on there, I can just move the tractor out, do what I need to do. Because I don't work on my car too often, but I do work on it. So I think it'll be a good place to be able to store things, and then just kind of use it as a shop to work and do some projects. Because as you have seen from that chicken coop, it's that we've had some really cold days, so it's nice to have the heated area that we can work on. I think primarily I'm gonna keep the goats on this side of the shed, and you can see like I have a little mini gym going on here, which of course I haven't been using much, as you can tell. But I'm gonna move it to that side of the barn, and then because I think it'll be a neat experience, you know, to be able to come up when you do your morning chores and then you do your workout. You can be close to your animals and stuff after in here, which that's what I'm anticipating, is that in the winter the goats are probably going to spend a lot of time in the shed. And I only say that because I've been watching my friends in Brian's Sweet Farms, and you know, they've been kind enough to do a lot of videos, or some videos about their setups and stuff, and that's where I got some of my ideas. But I noticed that their goats, they don't like to go outside too much, or at least from what they've been showing, the goats don't go out much during the winter. So I think it would be nice to be able to put them in here, and then they have room to move around and stuff. Oh boy, I'm I'm not kidding. I'm really cold, and I probably should be wearing gloves. You barely see me wearing gloves unless I'm working on something, but I'm not kidding. I'm freezing, but you know, one of the things that I kind of like, you know, you probably shouldn't be envy of things, but I think the one thing that the tropical weather is fortunate to have is those tropical fruits. You know, they get like the mango trees and the pineapples and just stuff that they can grow that we really couldn't grow here like profitably or without effort year round. You know, so with that in mind, I think like I'm gonna put a link here or here, wherever I decide to put it. Follow one of these links to see how I'm gonna try to grow a pineapple here in Wisconsin. All right, and that's gonna be a long journey, but at least it'll be the beginning of it, and it'll show you how I'm gonna start that journey and try to grow the pineapple. and then we'll check on the pineapple throughout my videos. All right, so for now, I'm gonna get inside and warm up, and I'll see you guys on the next one.